I love that Russ is a man of faith because he's going to need God to revive his career.
G-O-D.
Obviously, I like Russell Wilson. We came out of the draft together, met him first at the Senior Bowl, All-Star game out of college. Phenomenal dude. We're friends. But Pittsburgh is where quarterbacks go to die.
Ooh.
Oh, my God. Which God are we talking about? Are we talking about Russ's God? The oh, my God? The football God?
Pittsburgh, Joy, I didn't want to do this because I didn't believe it until I started talking through it. Family, you'll be shocked by what I'm about to tell you. Pittsburgh is where quarterbacks go to die. Byron Leftwich, Mike Vick, their careers, they came to an end in Pittsburgh. Charlie Batch, his career came to an end in Pittsburgh. Dennis Dixon, his career came to an end in Pittsburgh. Kenny Pickett, his career as a starter came to an end in Pittsburgh. Mitch Trubisky, his career as a starter came to an end in Pittsburgh. Mason Rudolph, his career came to an end in Pittsburgh. Devlin Duck Hodges. What I am saying is these are all the quarterbacks that have started.
Add my name to that list.
These are all the quarterbacks that have started in Pittsburgh.
Roethlisberger spent his entire career there and won 2 Super Bowls.
The only thing I will say there, the only dilemma I fall into with Ben Roethlisberger is Ben Roethlisberger was acquired by Mike Tomlin. All of these other quarterbacks that I'm naming and all these other quarterbacks that you see, Mike Tomlin, he didn't inherit them like he inherited Ben Roethlisberger. Every quarterback that Mike Tomlin acquired, their careers, they come to an end there. I'm not making this up. This is every quarterback.
What is this list?
There's a lot of
Ben Roethlisberger, like which one of these guys'
Mike Vick was 100 when he went to Pittsburgh.
Mike Vick should not be on this list either.
Look, I was an octogenarian by the time he got to the Steelers.
Mike Vick was 35 when he went to Pittsburgh.
Yes,
How old is Russ?
At 35.
How old is Russ?
Well, so that 35 when Mike Vick was playing in Pittsburgh is the same 35 that we're operating in the league now.
How old is Russ? All I'm saying is this. These are all the quarterbacks.
This is so stressful.
The only list I could choose from.
This is Gronkowski from the Raiders?
What are you talking about? This is every quarterback that started. It's not like I just picked names out of a hat.
Now do Cleveland.
This is every quarterback.
Now do Cleveland. Now do the Washington Commanders.
You don't think? I would have said the same there. Look, here's what I'm saying. This is every quarterback.
That's a list.
That is a list.
That is technically a list.
I don't want the viewer to be confused because obviously there's a lot of conversation going on. This is every quarterback that has taken a snap under Mike Tomlin. Everyone. This is not some arbitrary list that Emmanuel Acho pulled together.
That was like Friday for Washington.
I'm just saying, Joy, they all the careers.
These are backups?
2s and 3s.
But they are 2s and 3s.
Okay.
But my thought process is, could they have been 1s?
No.
Could they have been 1s?
There's like
Pickett, maybe.
Could they have been 1s?
No.
Pickett was a first-round pick.
Pickett's going to get an opportunity to be a 1. We'll see.
Landry Jones was a 3rd-round pick, I believe. Mason Rudolph was a 4th-round pick. If you look across the NFL, you see 4th-round picks, Kirk Cousins. You see 4th-round picks, Dak Prescott. You see 3rd-round picks, Nick Foles. You see 3rd-round picks, Russell Wilson. So, yes, these are 2s and 3s. But were they 2s and 3s by nature or were they 2s and 3s by nurture? I'm simply saying every quarterback that Mike Tomlin has had take a start, these are the ones in front of you. Which ones have revived their career there? That's all I'm saying. Which ones have revived their career?
So are you telling us that we might be seeing Justin Fields? Like, not revive it at that, like that? Are you, like,
I'm more with you on that than I am with Joy or Shady. I think there's a better chance we see Justin Fields than we don't. I think there's a better chance. I'm more on your side.
So you really think he's not going to revive his career? If you think you're going to see Justin Fields.
Where I'm at, and then I'll be done with it because obviously I've occupied far too much time during this conversation. Where I'm done with it is there's not enough data for me to give you a confident answer that Russ will revive his career. I was having a conversation with my dad. My dad's a pastor, and I said, hey, Dad, what do you think about this question in the Bible? And what do you think about that? He said, in all honesty, son, there's not enough evidence for me to give you an answer. So I can try to act like some man on high and give you an answer like I'm all knowing. He's like, but I just don't know. The OC, Arthur Smith, for the Steelers, he has not developed a quarterback. Marcus Mariota, Taylor Heineke, Ryan Tannehill. Furthermore, Desmond Ridder. I don't like OCs that are former head coaches because you can have too many cooks in the kitchen. When you look at the Steelers quarterbacks not named Ben Roethlisberger, again, Ben Roethlisberger was inherited by Mike Tomlin. None of them have revived their careers. I do not think that the wide receivers, and the wide receivers have very publicly thrown quarterbacks under the bus just by their physical expression, I don't think they will be too kind of Russ struggles. I don't have enough evidence to suggest that Russ will revive his career there. I think they will win a lot of games because the Steelers are a well-coached organization. Joy, I don't think he'll revive his career. I'm done talking. I've talked too much. Joy, do you expect Russ to revive his career in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I do. I think he's in a much better situation than he was in the last two years. I think last year he had a solid year, not a great year, but obviously we know the way that it ended was because Sean Payton came in. He's not his guy. They moved on from him, and that's why he's in Pittsburgh to begin with. I think the Steelers are an extremely functional organization. They are a cornerstone franchise in the league. Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season, despite all of those quarterbacks and all of the situations that he's dealt with and playing in the toughest division in football. He just wants to play football. And this is the perfect organization for him to do that. The Steelers, unlike many organizations around the league, when you think of the Steelers, you do not think of the quarterback, you think of the coach, which is very college-like. I would argue in this situation that's perfect for him. He is not expected to be a culture setter. He is not expected to be the true face of the organization. He is there to revive his career, which I think he will do. One, because I think he will win, because that's what the Steelers do. Two, I think he's in a more functional situation, which will benefit him. Three, I think that they are a good team. Like we're making it seem like they just win by some like magic Pittsburgh water potion or something. Like, no, they're a good team. That's why they win with lesser talent at the quarterback position. No, he's not the same physical player that he was when he was going to and winning a Super Bowl in Seattle. But he has won a Super Bowl. He has gone to a Super Bowl. He has won at a very high level. He hasn't forgotten how to play football. It was a really bad situation his first year in Denver, a kind of bad situation his second year in Denver with a little bit of dysfunction, which is why he was able to still have some level of success there. He's on a one-year prove-it deal. He is unequivocally better than Justin Fields. So in order for Justin Fields to get on the field in a non-package way, Russell Wilson is going to have to be abysmal, which I do not, or hurt, which we can't plan for hurt, and we wouldn't even speak about that. So he would have to be abysmal for Justin Fields to get on the field, because we don't want to go over Justin's numbers again, but Justin does one thing great, and that is run, which is why he will be in package formations for the Steelers offense. They will have things for him to do. They'll have some goal line sets for him, and that's great, and that's what he should do. Yeah. They did nothing to get him there. They traded a sixth-round pick to get Justin Fields there. They have no looming energy to have to force him in there. He is also in a prove-it situation, only he has not proven anything, and Russell Wilson has. So I think he will revive his career there, because even if he doesn't end up being the long-term future for the Steelers, if he wins with the Steelers, he is a Super Bowl winning and Super Bowl appearing franchise-level quarterback. He will get another opportunity somewhere else if he has the bare minimum success that the Steelers always have. Kirk Cousins just got 4 years, $180 million, coming off of a 4-4 record and a torn Achilles. Baker Mayfield has done nothing in this league. He has not had anywhere near the success that Russell Wilson has. His 9-8 record last year and just got 3 years, $100 million. Russell Wilson will revive his career in Pittsburgh if he does just what the Steelers did last year.
Let's define revive. Because if we're, I like that.
Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, seriously, let's define revive. Because if we're talking about the Seattle Seahawks, Russell Wilson, bona fide All-Pro, future Hall of Famer, I don't think that player exists anymore. I don't think that player has existed for 3 or 4 years. Because he wasn't very good his final year in Seattle either. Wasn't great his first year in Denver. And then last year, he was actually pretty decent. 29 touchdowns, only 8 picks. But I think to Joy's point about you look around what he has in Pittsburgh, he has a fortified offensive line. It's the first time since 1967 that the Steelers have drafted 3 offensive linemen in the first 4 years. They bring back both guards. They have weapons with Freiermuth and Pickens. They have a running game with Harris and Warren. And I think Arthur Smith is going to run the ball, and I think he's going to put Russell Wilson in relatively advantageous situations. You have a really good bona fide head coach himself in Mike Tomlin. And the last thing I'll say is this. When you think about Russell Wilson, at the very least, you think about a professional who's going to put you in games, put you in positions to win games. And I think because the defense is adequate to good, similarly to what we saw in Denver last year, he's going to have an opportunity to win games. They weren't great, but they were fine. He'll be better than fine. I think he will revive his career to an extent, but I think you have to be cautiously optimistic would probably be the way to put it.
Yeah, listening to Sis talk, what's Russ' greatest attribute?
Winning.
Winning. You see that list you just showed? All them boys won. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. Like, we need to, like, Mike Tomlin need to be the highest paid coach in the history of the NFL. Like, that's crazy. So when you talk about Russell Wilson has never been a guy like Aaron Rodgers, like Patty Mahomes, to light the stat sheet up. He's never been that. We call him dangerous because in clutch moments, he makes the big-time play to make the play to help his team win. You're under a coach that does not lose with any quarterback. So if we are looking for this Russell Wilson to light the stat sheet up, that's not happening. That's really never been him. But what Russell Wilson does do is win. What Tomlin does do is win. What Tomlin does control is the defense. And 4 out of the last 5 years, this has been a top 10 defense. They will be a top 10 defense again, and Russell Wilson will win. When you are winning, everybody's going to be talking good about you, whether you got 30 touchdowns, 15 touchdowns, whatever it may be. So I think Russ is in a really good situation to put himself in a situation to play some more years and be the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I agree with y'all on I'm with y'all 90% of the race. It's the last 10% where I lose y'all, really just the 2 to my left. I think he's going to win. I think he's going to win. That's all I can say. The thing, though, for me with the Steelers in particular, I don't know if winning alone will revive Russ's career. James, you brought it up in the pre-show meeting. I was shocked when you said this. Kenny Pickett won in Pittsburgh. Shocked. But the Steelers, all those quarterbacks on that list, not named Ben Roethlisberger and Ben maybe the last 2 years of his career, they won with the quarterback, not because of the quarterback. So when I think about Russ, do I think he'll win? Absolutely. He will win in Pittsburgh. But, Joy, the tension for me lies with I don't know if winning alone will revive Russ's career. Because when you look at the Vikings, and you brought up Kirk Cousins, a great example. You brought up Baker. I'll stick with Kirk for now. We know the Vikings went through Kirk. That offense, Justin Jefferson became the highest paid receiver ever. They went through Kirk. They got rid of Dalvin Cook because they were like, hey, you know what? We'll trust Madison. We're going to go through Kirk Cousins. We're going to go through Jordan Addison. They went through Kirk. They don't go through their defense. They got rid of their defensive-minded head coach for an offensive-minded head coach. The Bucs defense last year was average to below average. Baker Mayfield, shout out to him. He got 3 years, 100. But we know with the Steelers, all those quarterbacks win, but they don't win because of the quarterback. I don't know if the Steelers will win this year because of Russ.
You think that they will win in spite of Russ? Because they were winning in spite of the quarterback.
They were a playoff team last year.
They were winning. There were games where the defense scored the points.
Yeah.
Like, that's how they won. I do not for 1 second think that Russell Wilson will be that bad.
No, I don't think he'll be that bad.
Since he will not be that bad, and we could all see with our eyeballs that they were winning in spite of the quarterback. Like, the defense was keeping them in games. Maybe they're winning off last-second field goals, or the defense is scoring for them. I don't think they're going to be in that space. You talk about Baker Mayfield. Because I feel you on Kirk Cousins. I think Kirk Cousins is a little overrated. Like, I think we like Kirk more than we actually like think about what Kirk has accomplished. And kudos to Kirk. I think he should write a book on how to make this much money. Love it. But Baker is actually very specific because nobody thinks that Baker, the team is just, Baker's just leading the team. And even if he was, it's a 9-8 record. What did Russ have last year?
29 touchdowns, 13 total turnovers, but 8 picks. 28
passing touchdowns, 10 interceptions for Baker last year. He just got 3 years, $100 million. He has never sniffed the Super Bowl. Russ has been to 2 and won.
He's younger.
I understand he's younger, but nobody thinks much of Baker Mayfield. This is a desperate quarterback league. People throw money around like it's water because they need a quarterback. If Russ wins, and we won't be winning in spite of Russ, if he plays just what he did last year, they will win more games, I believe, not exponentially more games, but say they win 1 more game and they wind up in the same place they were last year and they're competitive in the postseason, say they don't win a playoff game. You're telling me that the Steelers might not give him a 2-year deal, or some other team is not going to give him a 2-year deal? Is he going to get back to Seattle? No. But that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
And even last year, like when we watched Russ, like we did have a couple topics during the season to where, like, is Russ back? Like that was real topics, because it wasn't him lighting the stat sheets up, but when the game was on the line, when they needed a drive, when they needed to score, Russ made a play. That's what it's going to come down in Pittsburgh. That's what they did not have, a quarterback to go down there and make
plays, and not, look like they know how to run an offense. I think we've all realized and maybe taken the rose-colored glasses off of what happened in Seattle a little bit, right?
Elaborate.
Well, we keep saying that Russ is in a situation similar to Seattle.
Good defense, running game.
Good defense, but Seattle had an all-time defense. He had a running game. Elite, yes, right? So this is like, let's call it a junior version of that. But a Hall of Fame coach, a great coach, right? But he's in a similar situation to that. But what I'm saying is we are all kind of contextualizing what Russ did. Russ was great, not taking anything away from what Russ accomplished. But you ask what Russ's best attribute is winning.
W's.
So reviving his career back to what?
I know we got to go to break. The one thing I will say is with Justin Fields there, who they also didn't, you mentioned, they didn't give up a lot to get Wilson or Fields. But at some point, if Russell were to struggle, how long is the hook for someone like Fields, who we know is at least capable?
I love this conversation.
You know?
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.